Hi guys, it's Tamara. I'm back with another video today. We're going to just go ahead and jump in. I don't want to give a, lengthy introduction, but I do want to get this out of the way. If you are subscribed to my channel already, thank you so much for being here. And if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right here on the side. So then that way you can be alerted and also know when I post new videos. I post on Mondays and Fridays, and then I give you guys a bonus video on Wednesdays. Starting 2019, I'm going to start kind of titrating back or kind of reducing the amount of Wednesday videos that I post because I've been posting a lot of videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday just because of the holiday and all the family dynamics that are occurring around this time. But we are going to go ahead and stick with Mondays and Fridays starting in 2019, and then I'll give a bonus video every now and then on Wednesdays. All right, so today we're going to talk about triangulation. I talked a little bit about that on Monday and or Friday, whatever day that was. We talked about triangulation, and I explained what it is and the roles that individuals play. And so I want to give you some tips on how to identify the persecutor and how to identify the troublemaker in the middle of that triangle that keeps things going. So the benefits for you today in this video is that you're going to learn about the different roles that a persecutor plays and the different roles that a troublemaker plays within that triangle. Because again, there's the victim, there's the persecutor, and there's the rescuer. There's somebody who's playing the rescuer role, there's somebody who's playing the persecutory role, and there's somebody who's playing the victim role. But there's sometimes somebody outside of that triangle who kind of keeps things going and kind of mixes messages and makes things really difficult to understand and experience. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the first triangulation tactic that I have written here on my list is that a troublemaker or persecutor will validate everyone within that triangle. They even say things to validate themselves. So for example, let's say that you're having an argument with your spouse, and your spouse goes to her sister and tells what the argument between the two of you were. Your wife's sister ends up getting involved in talking to you about your behavior within that argument and why you shouldn't say certain things and why you shouldn't do certain things. You guys might get into a little bit of a tiff or an argument. And so there's the triangle, right? There's the persecutor, who's the sister, there's the victim, who's the wife, and then there's the rescuer role as well. And everybody can play different roles within that triangle because you as the husband may feel that you're being persecuted and you're the victim, right? So everybody kind of switches roles, okay? So let's just say that happens. Well, your wife's sister's mother, so your mother-in-law, now gets involved and she begins to validate your position, your sister-in-law's position, and your wife's position. And so now you're sitting there like, okay, who's wrong and who's right, right? You're confused. And so what will happen within triangles typically, especially within in-law situations, is that somebody else will get involved, but everything is so very perplexing, and the person on the outside validates everybody so much that nobody knows who's wrong or what's supposed to be fixed, or right? So that's what happens. The triangle gets even more complex because of the validation of everybody within that triangle, all right? The next one is the persecutor and the rescuer can play all sides as well, right? The rescuer can go to the victim and say, hey, I understand you, right? Validation. The rescuer can also go to the persecutor and be like, hey, I understand you too, right? So again, they know how to play sides, and I consider this kind of a person a troublemaker because what they do is they get in the middle, they validate, they go to everybody within that triangle, they gossip, they talk, they blame, sometimes they rescue, sometimes they even play the victim role. It just gets even more complex and perplexing. So they play all sides. The next one is that they reach out only when it benefits them. So what I have written here is that when you don't react their way, all right, they spread negative stuff. So let's say the triangle is already in place, right? You, your wife, and your sister-in-law. Let's say your mother-in-law gets involved, right? If things don't go the way she wants them to go, right? Like you don't back down as the husband, or you don't stop attacking her daughter or your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law may begin to spread stuff about you. And she might even overreach everybody and go to your mom and start talking to your mom about how disrespectful you are, right? So then the triangle gets even bigger because now your mother-in-law's involved, your sister-in-law's been involved, your wife is involved, your feelings are hurt, and now your mother is also being pulled into that triangle, right? So sometimes what will happen is the triangulating individual, the one that kind of keeps things going within that triangle, they will and can sometimes reach over everybody in that situation and go to somebody that's way on the outskirts, like your mother, right? Or maybe even your sibling. So it gets really complex and very manipulative. And this is something that happens in families during the holiday as well, because everybody comes in to the family circle a little closer and rumors get spread, gossip gets expressed and discussed, and it gets muddy and murky and things just get complex. Everybody's hurt, angry, feels disrespected. So it can really get ugly, all right? The next one is that the individual who keeps things going, they can play the victim and they can play the I've been wronged role. Okay, what the troublemaking triangulator will do and can do and has done in a lot of my clients' lives is they will, once they're caught triangulating and once they realize that, whoops, I may have overstepped my boundaries, once they realize that, then they step out of the situation and then they play the burned individual. They play the burned individual, the one who has been wronged. I was just trying to help you and now you're turning on me. Or they might say something like, excuse me, and everything I've done for you. Or they might say something like, how dare you point the finger at me and I was only trying to support you, right? So then everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt, okay? So triangulation is very complex and I'm sure you've experienced it. If you have, tell me what your experiences have been if you have experienced triangulation, and what do you notice about the triangulator or the person who kind of keeps things going in that triangle. This is something that happens a lot around holidays as well. So I'm going to come back again and give you some tips on how to manage the triangulator, how to minimize their behavior, and how to kind of dismiss their attempts to create confusion. Thanks so much, guys, for being with me today in this video. I encourage you to give it a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can become a member of our community. I would love to have you here on my channel so that we can kind of talk and you make suggestions to me about videos that you want to see, and we kind of build a little bit of a community here. So if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being with me and for following and for being with me every week. Totally love your suggestions, your questions. I get some things on my website as well. And I just think it's so awesome, the things that you guys come up with. So thanks so much for helping me with that. I will see you guys in the next couple of days with another video. Stay tuned because we're going to be talking about other family issues as well. If you have some subjects that you want to suggest, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.